So, guys, it's David here, and it's currently day 348. I hope you guys are doing fabulously well this weekend and are doing better than yesterday. Hopefully, you guys are staying at home too. But today, I want to talk about this thought and idea that I had in mind for a while now. And that is, what if I just relapse again on drugs so that I could put myself in my worst position to be at my rock bottom so that I could recenter myself and find purpose once again? Now, this thought has been of my curiosity simply because looking back now, all of the times where I managed to rebound from failure is when I was at totally rock bottom. You see, the way I quit pornography, the way I quit my lust addiction is when I was at my rock bottom using drugs. Right. And the time when I was consistent and found my calling is when I was at my rock bottom using drugs. So, what this is telling me is that every time I relapse on drugs, I manage to somewhat find myself and find courage in what I do simply because when I did meth, it totally drains you of all your dopamine, of all your serotonin. Pretty much it makes life somewhat meaningless, right? You feel like you don't care about anything else when you're on the calm down. And during that period, I feel like that takes away all your fear, all your resistance, anything that was previously holding you back to try something new. And without any, and when you stop caring about life, when you're in that such of a dark place, as if you're about to die the next day or today, you really have no worry left to do anything, right? So looking back now, it just has been an idea of mine. Just say like, what if I just do it one more time, and that I could take a huge risk and perhaps turn out great. You see, what went wrong with the last time I relapsed, which is totally a stupid idea of mine when I was consistent with everything, when I was winning in life, and I choose to self sabotage for the chase of good old sake pleasure, right? The last time I self sabotage and relapse on drugs, I did not do a great bounce back during the calm down, but rather I choose to self sabotage more. During that period, I binge ate. During that period, I excessively binged watch Netflix. And because of so, when that happened, I knew something internally has changed. I changed my psychology in a way that I had admitted defeat. And during the golden period where I should have been doing more work, when I should have been just doing something positive and productive with my life, I choose to accept defeat. Why? Because I was doing so good before. And that relapse really made me see myself in a different point of view as if perhaps I am just a loser. And that part of my unconsciousness really ingrained into my identity. It's really what I believe. Is what I believe that was the cause of my inconsistency and lack of perseverance and discipline. Because of that time and period, it has resulted in a cycle of inconsistency and just self sabotages. So this is why this idea has been really been of my curiosity. Although I don't really think too deep into it because, well, obviously, relapsing on meth is a stupid idea. Nobody should do it, even though it somehow worked for me in quitting bad habits and finding my purpose. But that is, you're playing with fire, right? You're playing with fire, and this is not psychedelics, right? You're not taking shrooms or LSD where you could perhaps find yourself and inner work through meditation and whatnot. This is like self-destructing drug, right? Meth is a very serious drug that you should not touch in any shape or form, right? It is the worst of the worst, the dirtiest of the dirtiest, but it does it does make you feel like a piece of worthless garbage. And that is the truth, right? At the end of the calm down, you feel like nothing, and perhaps you want to just be nobody, like you just want to relapse because that's just how shitty it feels. But during that period when you don't care about anything anymore, and if you know exactly what I'm talking about, but if not, just imagine if you're dying tomorrow, you have nothing to care about, and you just say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to die tomorrow, so let me just do whatever I want to do. And that is exactly what you kind of feel like during the calm down. And I guess this is why it made me really find myself by doing good things, because during that period, a week or so, you can really change your life in a week, right? By doing the right things, by staying productive, by staying just disciplined, you can really create yourself a new identity and reshape your habits in a week, right? A week is really all it takes for you to just get the momentum going, and any time after that is discipline, right? But the first week sometimes is the hardest, and then the months to really ingrain your habits. But theoretically speaking, the first step is always the most difficult. And I made the wrong step when I relapsed on drugs, which is why I am here today, really unsure and just almost like if I don't care about life anymore, because I am living like I have no more hope. But even with all this thought of perhaps I should just relapse and take a risk, whether I'll come back or great and ambitious, or just come back even more less of who I have been before, I choose to go down this, well, unsafe route. I am certainly going to play with fire, but I am not going to do that. Why? Because although it makes sense on paper, although it may sound logical that yes, if you do this, if I do this, then there's a 50-50 chance that I could come out great or perhaps come out even shittier. But through all this, there is something in common that after reading some of the book, You Are the Placebo, why do I have to put myself through that position physically when I can somehow manipulate my mind to put myself in this position where I don't care about anything at all? Why indulge my body with these drugs, which will bring more side effects and harmful things to my body, and I could just change my mind by believing that I don't care about anything else in life? So, although the first option to relapse on drugs is somewhat, I guess, alluring because you get to have a fun time and whatnot, but really that's not something I want to do again, because there's so much harm it does to yourself. Not only does it make you feel like total crap, but it does not solve the problem whatsoever. You see, there's no reason for us to make ourselves feel shitty about life in hopes to make life feel better. Although it kind of makes sense, but why would you do that if you can somehow make yourself feel like you are already winning? That you are already grateful of who you are and the opportunities you have? Like, why make yourself go through that dark period when you can already feel like you belong in this world and you can really do wonders with your abilities and skill set if you just put your time towards it? Why go through this belief if you can be a believer in the beginning? So, this is what I am thinking, that I am not going to relapse on drugs. It is totally stupid. And second of all, I am going to embrace gratitude. I am going to embrace thankfulness. I am going to treat my life as if I am the most competent, greatest person and the one and truly destined to save his family and his community from hardship and from perhaps, well, poverty. Because having this belief in yourself is far more important than anything that you can rely on. No substances, no quick fixes, nobody can help you in a way that you can choose to help yourself. And with all this being said, this help will happen internally. And this begins with our mind. But my question, and I have not yet answered, is what do I have to do to really make myself believe that I can actually do this? What is it that I have to do to start believing of gratitude, of thankfulness, of courage, of all these elevating emotions? Like, how can you make yourself believe this? And I know repetition, and I know that setting out a clear plan or mind map will guide you to eventually this conviction of you becoming this great person. But yet, I have not taken any action into really consolidating my belief in myself to say that it works or not. And I do believe there's a way to do this. As if others have done this, then certainly you and I can do this too. So for the next week, I really want to prioritize on finding myself. Yes, it may sound cringe, it may sound cheesy to find yourself when you are poor, to find yourself when the world is still spinning, like do you even have time to find yourself? And I have to argue, yes, we do. We have time to find ourselves because to find ourselves goes far beyond how much you can earn, what your professions are, or who you believe yourself to be. Finding yourself really unlocks this hidden drive and flame within yourself that otherwise cannot be recreated. So I believe finding yourself is very important, as finding myself was what got me to this journey in the beginning. But obviously, it is clear that I have lost the vision of who I want to become. I have lost the idea of where it is I want to go in life. And because of so, my actions have been that of a lost child. I am treating my days as if I am walking life without a map. I am being fooled by my emotions and I am being controlled by my body. So, this is why finding yourself is important. So that when you have this power over your mind to create scenes and feelings of gratitude and success, well, then I believe success itself will come to you because you will know exactly what to do to get there. That being said, this is all I have to say for today. And I do hope you guys had learned something from this. But if not, like always, I'll be here for you guys tomorrow. But until then, good night.